I would have gave up all of my money. I would have gone in debt to... You can hear my voice in your head, and you wanna hear it again. Where do we start? There are so many lessons that I probably would have paid to learn sooner. And the reason I say that is because when you have a purpose, your life always goes where it's supposed to go. But had I known a lot of these things sooner, you know, my life could have been going at a faster pace. So I'm gonna share with you 10 things that I wish I would have learned sooner. The first lesson I would have taught myself would have been to lead with my soul. And what I mean by that is a lot of choices that I made was made from overthinking or thoughts from my mind instead of going with my gut or going with my true soul. It was never made, well, it was made, but a lot was never made using trusting my gut. Like if, for example, like if I was to be around someone and their vibe was just negative, their vibe was off, I wouldn't go with my gut. I wouldn't trust my gut, or I wouldn't trust my soul telling me that this person isn't good for me. I always just, you know, followed my mind and thought, you know, maybe I'll just give them a chance, or maybe this, or maybe that, you know, making excuses with my mind instead of going with my gut feeling and my intuition telling me that this person is not good for me. This person doesn't need to be around. Or another example is if it was probably something that I shouldn't do or shouldn't go through with, I would choose my mind over my soul. So I would think it out in my mind for a couple days instead of just going my gut feeling telling me right then and there that it's not a good idea. So that's a big thing that I wish that I would have learned sooner, and I definitely would have paid to learn that sooner, how to really listen to my soul and my intuition and trust my gut over trusting my mind, which is not really that reliable because it overthinks. Another thing I would have paid to learn is small progress is still progress. A lot of times when you are doing something, you give up because it's small progress. It's not progressing as quickly as you would like it to. But small progress is still progress, and it happens within time. It happens over time. It does not happen overnight. No matter what you do, or no matter how many people you've seen do it, or how many people you think it came so quick and easy to, you know, it's a process, it's work, it's hard work. Everything you do is hard work. So it's still a process, and understand that slow process is still progress. You're still progressing within that slow time frame. So don't stress yourself out too much feeling like you're behind, or stress yourself out too much feeling like it should be going much quicker, or give up on yourself so quick and think that you can't do it because it's moving so slowly. But that's still progress. You're still moving your way up, and within time, give it 10, 20, 30 years, you'll be set. That's something I would have paid to learn sooner, just because if I had just trusted the process and understood that it's a journey, then a lot of things I probably would have stayed on that journey. Another one, how to heal. Healing was like a big part of my growth, and a big part of me finding who I am and understanding life and just everything in general, just the way people actions are, the way society is, how to control my mindset, how to go with my gut, how to understand myself, my body, my soul, just understand the world in general. So healing was a big part in my progress, and just being able to understand a lot of things that I needed to fix about myself and learn about myself, and even positive things about myself I did not know. So healing was a big part of my journey. So if I could have, I would have paid someone way earlier to teach me how to heal. Another thing is discipline does not equal punishment. I think when I was growing up, I thought discipline meant more like punishment. It meant more so of someone controlling you, or someone telling you what to do, what not to do, and just following the rules, following society, this and that. But so I always thought discipline in that type of manner. I never thought discipline as in discipline yourself to wake up on time every day for work, to discipline yourself to have a daily routine, discipline yourself to work for a career or a lifestyle or a passion of yours that you have, to make that a lifestyle. I never thought of discipline that way. I never thought of discipline as a way to do something that you really need to do but you don't want to do. Like, for example, if you're laying in bed but you really have this passion for something that you really want to do and you really want to work on, discipline will be waking up every day at a certain time and doing that every single day, even when you don't feel like it. But I never looked at discipline that way. I looked at discipline as punishment, or it meant like you get in trouble for something that you shouldn't be doing. That's what, in a lot of Black communities, that's what was taught to us. But I never looked at discipline as a way to discipline yourself, as in do this for yourself, do that for yourself, and work every day and discipline yourself, as in putting in that time, putting in that work towards something that can potentially make you a better person without punishment. I never thought of discipline that way, but now since I learned it, it's the best thing I could have ever done for myself, and I would have paid someone to definitely learn that sooner. Woo, child. Another thing I would have learned sooner and paid for it is how to set values for myself. Setting values for yourself allows you to set a goal for yourself of who you want to become and where you want to be, and a lifestyle for yourself that makes you feel more like you belong in this world and that you have something going for yourself. So, for example, some values you may set for yourself is being humble, a humble person, or maybe some values would be something like religion, or some values would be femininity, maybe family oriented, friendly. I always had values, but my values as a child was more like loyalty, because I had trust issues, so I couldn't trust nobody. So mine was more, it's still one of my biggest values. I'm never going to take that away. You can choose what you want to remove and what you want to keep within your values as you're growing, but loyalty is still a big part in my values that I set for myself. So some will be loyalty. I'm working on femininity. Another set value might be hardworking. Just things like that, where you set values for yourself and you set them by basically deciding who you want to be in the end and what values would that person have. So you don't set it as in where you are now. You set your values as in who you want to be and what type of values does that person need to have to be that person. So, for example, if you want to be family oriented, then you need to set values to be family oriented. If you want to, you want to have picket fence and a big happy family, you need to set values to be that person. That means cooking every day. That means keeping the house clean. That's what, being that person means. Are you going to be taking vacations with your family? What type of time are you going to be spending with your family? So that's all that means, is just setting values for the person that you want to be, and basically setting those values by becoming that person and being that person every day, and working towards becoming that person, working on your values and yourself. Another one, which is a big one that I would have paid to learn sooner, is how to succeed in the workplace. This was a big thing and a big issue that I learned, because coming from where I come from, going to public schools and not really having the education to know how to really succeed in the workplace, because it's just not something we're taught, or it just wasn't something that was important in school. So when I went in after graduating and going into the career field, I was applying to smaller jobs, even though I felt in my heart that I was meant for more, even though I felt in my heart and I visualized and seen myself working like in a big career with a big job, corporate America. Even though I visioned all of that, I will always apply to like retail and stuff like that, when I could have been working in an office space or a big corporation way sooner, because even when I was in high school, I had a job. I had internships where I was working in offices. I'm not going to say what jobs, but there was even job opportunities within having those, to where I had I was working in an office space, but like after the internship, it was an opportunity for me to actually work in the corporation. But even with all of that, I still felt like, you know, you can't exceed within the workplace because I don't have this type of education. I don't have that type of education. I was in college, but even then, it just always felt like, you know, they're going to hire the ones with the business suits every day, or they're going to promote the ones that's been here for years, or I always felt like they only offer big opportunities to older people because they feel like they did their time. But being so young, I came in feeling like I wouldn't get promoted, or I never tried to pursue it because I always just felt like they're going to go with most likely they're going to go with the older person because they felt like they had more time in a lot of workspaces too. I witnessed where older people are a little bit discriminating to the younger. I just always felt as though it was something that I couldn't do or proceed until I got to a certain age. But the truth is, had I learned that sooner or got the information sooner, then I would have probably moved on sooner, and I definitely would have climbed to the top of the ladder because I just always knew that I was meant for more in my mind. Another thing, there is strength in letting go. Sometimes you have to let go of things. You have to let go of a certain lifestyle. You have to let go of certain people. You have to let go of certain habits to grow and to becoming your better self. And there's strength in that. I know a lot of times it feels like you're wrong for letting these things go, or you're wrong for letting these people go because you feel like you know them so well. But there's growth in letting people go. There is growth in letting them go because you're able to grow as well as a better person. You're able to grow into your full potential, and you're able to grow into your full self by letting a lot of these things go and a lot of these habits go. It's okay to let go of old habits. It's okay to let all of that go, to be able to learn new habits and be a better version of yourself. So that's something that I definitely would have paid to learn sooner, to just be able to grow into the person that I know I can be and I know that I am. Another one is I would have learned to embrace my journey sooner. Just embrace everything that I go through, the good, the bad, the worse, the worser. I would have embraced it all if I would have learned it sooner, because there is so much power in everything that we go through. Everything you go through is your own testimony. So I would have embraced everything I went through way sooner had I had someone tell me, you know, enjoy the journey, stay on the path that you're on, stay on the right path, and just embrace everything that you've been through. Every journey you are on, if whether it's good or bad, just embrace it all, because when you do start to follow your true purpose and you do become to finally get to a point of where you're feeling a little more satisfied, you learn to embrace, you learn that it is part of your testimony, and you learn that you've been through all this to get to where you are today. So that's something that I would have definitely embraced a little better, and I would have enjoyed those little moments. Which brings me to another thing that I would have learned sooner is slow living, which is just learning to love the place that you are at today and not thinking ahead or staying back in the past and just thinking of your past and staying that person from the past, or thinking ahead because you know where you should be and where you could be, but being in the present moment and just slow living, enjoying those little moments, the little people that you have at that time during your life, and just enjoying where you are today, just enjoying just walking outside and just enjoying the breeze, just being blessed to wake up every morning and being alive, just being blessed to be able to breathe and do something that you love. Slow living is something that really changed my life, and it's something that I definitely would have paid to learn sooner. And lastly, the biggest of them all, I would have gave up all of my money. I would have gone in debt to find my purpose, because child, finding my purpose was the biggest lesson of them all, and it was the last lesson of them all that I learned, and it probably was the biggest change and the biggest effect on my life, because everyone is looking for something to live for. Everyone is wondering. Everyone questions, whether they say it or not. Everyone questions, what is the point of life? What am I here for? And that's something you question from childhood. You just feel like you have no purpose because you have no talent, you have no skill. You don't even know that very little thing that's so important to you, or that bothers you so much sometimes, is part of your purpose. You don't even understand that a lot of things that you're going through and that you've been through was all part of your purpose and all part of your journey. So once I got to know myself and I got to understand myself and I got to stand in my full potential, I was able to find my purpose. So I would have definitely paid someone sooner to just be able to help me understand, like, what is the point of all of this? What is the point of everything? I would have gone in debt. I would have paid a lifetime. I would have student loan type debt, everything to find my purpose. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like my channel, and follow me for more. Follow me on TikTok, Jump Flights, which will be at the link in the bottom, and also follow my Instagram, Jump Flights. Follow me for more. Bye.